Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and today we're going to be looking at Junichi Masuda's Twitter because there's some cool things on it. Like, I've been wanting to make this video for a while because there have been interesting cases where there's potentially cryptic things they said related to a game. Also, he just naturally straight up talks about it. So this got my attention right here. Blog update. It's Sun and Moon World. Push the Google Translate button. Now, this is different because when you break down Junichi Masuda's Twitter, it's mostly talking about his blog, that everything else is in Japanese for the most part, and eventually you'll see like some translated stuff when it comes to fans, like this fan art right here. My Pokemon toy collection, 12 years. That's pretty crazy. I wonder how much mine is if I really go and break it down. So yeah, you'll see some English on this page, and there's just a lot of fan appreciation, a lot of blogs, pictures of flowers, pictures of Psyduck. That's pretty much all that Junichi Masuda is. But I mean, the fan art's also really cool. The way I see it, you know, is like if you're having appreciation for like fan art and fan stuff of Pokemon, following Junichi Masuda is a good idea because he tweets the best of it, and a lot of it is like Japanese stuff that you really won't see too much. Like that's a pretty adorable Sylveon right there, and just a lot of random stuff overall. We got, I think those are like plushes? Yeah, that's like some fabric work right there and some fan art. So we'll see that all the time, and just some cool stuff from Junichi Masuda. But also, his Twitter does give some insight. Like this blog about the Pokemon Sun and Moon, like it doesn't have any new Pokemon Sun and Moon information. And I guess that's another thing about Junichi Masuda, is like people have accused him of being a troll, of lying, even though it's just not correct. The way that Game Freak goes about doing things is to their agenda. So what's happening is like people are putting their agendas of what they want to see about Pokemon Sun and Moon, or what they feel privileged to have about the news announcements, and that's kind of pretty bad because it's led to some really weird situations where even like people were attacking Junichi Masuda over something he never claimed when it came to like the Pokenchi and all the other YouTubers lying about that stuff with like a Pokenchi gameplay. So I mean, if you just like kind of step back and see what Masuda and the rest of Game Freak and all the developers up to, it's actually pretty cool. Like these guys love Pokemon, and if you love Pokemon too, you should definitely at least try to get an understanding of what's going on here. So one thing I think is really cool is that they really nailed it on their Pokemon Sun and Moon video, and now Junichi Masuda is just talking about that out of nowhere because yeah, you go into the encounter and then it goes into that like whole stage of defeat. I love how every emotion when it came to playing Pokemon was captured by this video. So yeah, the super effective sound plays, and then it fades out during silence, and Masuda said he wanted to pay considerable attention to that. Like you feel the defeat, but then the victory, you know, victorious, you go into that pose of victory, you know, the volume starts going up, and then now you're really aiming to go big and like start changing that battle. You know, you go through being a scrub to being a champion kind of idea, and then the sound effects just kind of keep going through, you know, the climax, deployment of cool music. Oh, the music was so cool. And then you just do the countdown, and that's right, 2016, a new Pokemon game, Pokemon Sun and Moon. So yeah, it's like you're pretty much he's just like understanding that your idea of how the Pokemon video played out is very similar to what was expected right here. And I think it's pretty cool. You know, Masuda is just kind of like looking at the Pokemon Center, talking about the settings of the game and stuff, which is exactly what they did. It shows that they are giving the information that they want to give, and that's all that you really need to know. Now, one thing I do want to talk about a bit was like with all these YouTubers and all these like media channels making like fake information or like false news, you know, like theories and speculation is cool, but whenever you're taking like leaks and unconfirmed information, that's pretty toxic to what Game Freak is trying to go for, because you're spoiling people. Like with all the new starters that have been like quote-unquote leaked, it's the starter names, but then everyone's taking fan art of those Pokemon and like really overlooking into it, and now it's going to ruin how Game Freak does the pacing, because now people are going to see it's like, oh, so those were the starters that were leaked, and now we lose a whole month of Korokoro because someone decided to cash out early for those kinds of information. It's kind of lame that way. But overall, we could also see that Junichi Masuda, he's a composer. So that he'll do like composer blogs, and he'll even talk about Pokemon Sun and Moon a bit. But you get that insight where I didn't even know about this. Like I realized, you know, when you're in the town, since Pokemon do not come popping out, it's a safe place. Pokemon Center, it's a safe and secure place, and that's actually, you realize that when it comes to video games, you know, music is one of the most important things to any video game because it's about the immersion. It's about setting the mood. I didn't really realize how much of a difference there were between like the Pokemon Center and the city, that those are more laid back kind of music, that you're there to enjoy your time in the city, and it's because it's not dangerous. There's no threat of Pokemon hopping out, but then on the road, you know, you could tell with the road themes, like the route whenever you're on a route, the themes are more adventurous. I could pick up on that, but the city was the one that got me. Combat, you're battling a mysterious creature that you have to be scared to fight against other monsters, so it's really intense, fast-paced kind of music. And then a cave, it has to be creepy, because a Zubat can pop out anywhere at any time. But then there's the infamous tweets, like this one right here. I'm pretty sure you might have seen this one in your Twitter feed. 2,500 retweets. Normally Junichi Masuda doesn't pull this many retweets, but the moon is shining bright even though the sun is out. And this was like a week and a half before the Pokemon Direct that we got, and people like lost their mind when they went back and they were like, yo, what is this? I'm wondering, like, was this really foreshadowing? Because that's when you start to wonder, okay, like Junichi Masuda, he is here to kind of be a trickster. He makes a lot of really straightforward posts, but then sometimes in his blogs or sometimes like in his pictures, is he actually doing this? Was this like a tease towards Sun and Moon? Because by then it was finalized. The Pokemon Direct was in the works and everything was kind of done. So maybe he just got finished like recording for the Pokemon Direct or kind of finishing up everything in production, and then he's like walking home. He's like, hey, look, the moon's out. Ha, click. I'm gonna go and post this. So those are things that will happen, and that's one of the cool things that I'm expecting that coming up once we actually have Pokemon Sun and Moon stuff. He might start bringing more and more hints, because right now Game Freak isn't ready to give us a lot of information. And then there's tweets like this. What is Solrock and Lunatone doing there? Like, it's just the 27th anniversary of Game Freak, yet there's pictures of Solrock and Lunatone. Now here's the thing. Ruby and Sapphire came out a long time ago. It's not like when they made these Pokemon, they're like, hey, we're going to have a Sun and Moon based game, and these guys are going to get Megas. So it's kind of like adapting into that. But right here, Game Freak 27th anniversary, congratulations, thank you for making my Pokemon too much fun by the release of the installment Pokemon Sun and Moon. So I have Solrock and Lunatone made, and those look like actually rice. I think that's like a rice ball, and I think that might actually be a dessert of Lunatone. So, and we just have like a generic pastry bread thing, cake. I don't know. It's pretty cool though. But why would okay, celebrating 27th anniversary? I understand retweeting that, or at least like tweeting that out. But why would you, like, Junichi Masuda retweeted this, and it's like, why would you retweet the Pokemon like Solrock Lunatone one? Come on, Masuda, you little sneaky guy right here. But it might just mean nothing, or it could mean something. Same with this. Like, since I've been doing my Lugia and Ho-Oh theory for the main legendaries, this one stuck out to me. So we have the moon representing Lugia. That's pretty much like fact. The symbolism between Lugia and the moon is like undisputed when it comes to like the game developers and whatnot. But we have, instead of going directly with that, we have Swanna, which kind of looks like Lugia. I mean, it's like a white bird Pokemon, and the chest pattern is the same color and very similar, and they're chilling with the moon in the background. Like, it is cute. It's pretty cool art, which is another thing. Like, you'll see that Japanese art. You'll see art and fan creations that you normally don't have exposure to on Junichi Masuda's Twitter. So it's like innocent art, because as we've kind of seen, there's a lot of fan appreciation, a lot of art tweeting out anyways. So coincidence, also a lot of Psyduck, because that's Junichi Masuda's favorite Pokemon. We got Greninja. Hey, Greninja, Mega Greninja confirmed for Pokemon Sun and Moon, It's just as crazy when you break it down like that. Just tweeting food. We're going to have another food Pokemon, kind of like Vanillix being the ice cream Pokemon. But at the same time, that's kind of random, but it's kind of cool. Also, with the Pokemon Center opening, a lot of pictures of Ho-Oh. This very over-stylized picture of Ho-Oh right here. So yeah, good morning everyone, blog time, and he does his blog talking about the whole experience when he went over to the Pokemon Center. And then we have this way over-filtered picture of Ho-Oh right there. But I mean, like, Lugia Ho-Oh tweets coming out in a reasonable amount of time. So Lugia, I think this is just cool fan art in general. You got the surfing Pichu. I was like, oh hey, Lugia's here. My life is over. So yeah, Johto is amazing. And retweeting that, Johto's pretty awesome, gotta say. Pictures of flowers. So Pokemon Worlds, there was that one question. It's like, okay, if you could sum up the future of Pokemon one word, what would you say? And it was flowers. Now, Junichi Masuda just likes tweeting flowers because flowers are cool. He was tweeting about flowers before we even like saw this, and he started up his blog recently, so there were less pictures. But, it's like, okay, we just have Japanese flowers, but this means nothing for Pokemon. All right, we're seeing him tweet out in relation to the teaser, but there's no Pokemon in here. There's no secret message. It's just Japan is in bloom or something kind of idea. Also, this is pretty cool right here. Okay, apparently this has been looping nonstop, but what this is music from Pokemon Sun and Moon. So let me go and stop the music really quick. So a bit of a sneak peek at what Junichi Masuda is going for. Like, we don't know what this is. He just says music inside with sound adjustments and stuff like that. So Junichi Masuda's always being a composer. We can see in this next tweet, he's showing like, yo, working hard today. I'm working on that Pokemon Sun and Moon, and you got to do that sound setup. So yeah, and that kind of goes back to this blog right here. He tries to capture those atmospheres, and we'll see like where this music goes. If it's actually in the game, if he's just kind of like screwing around for the day or testing something out. But it sounds interesting. Like that could be remixed into whatever you want it to be. So it's kind of giving an idea of just insight. That's what you'll get on Junichi Masuda's Twitter. Now I'm like turning this into like, buy Junichi Masuda's Twitter, only $19.95. But like, are there cryptic things? There's really good insight. There's really good fan appreciation. What does this have to do with anything? Oh, the sun is black because, yeah, there's sunspots apparently. Like if you took pictures of the moon for that day, or if you took pictures of the sun, you could see the sunspots. But like, okay, Junichi Masuda, you're crazy. I trust nothing this man tweets anymore. Because, okay, you can see sunspots, but it's like, okay, when you take a picture of the sun like this, it's going to overexpose and look like the moon, even though it's the sun and there's sunspots. And it was a retweet. So, yeah, either it was just very interesting information, or Junichi Masuda saw a moon that looks like, or the sun that looks like the moon, decided to retweet it. You don't know. It's just some interesting stuff, and that's what we have on Junichi Masuda's Twitter. So hopefully this video wasn't terrible, I guess, is the best way of putting it. Just, it's almost like non-content, just kind of like, yeah, Junichi Masuda, there might be some things here, we might get some more about Pokemon Sun and Moon, but he's a cool guy, he's worth following regardless. Much appreciation for Pokemon for being the composer and the director of Pokemon, but overall, it's really cool to get those insights and just kind of see what's going up with Pokemon and what he's thinking about. Maybe we'll get some extra teasers as it comes along. So if you guys enjoy the video, at Junichi Masuda's Twitter, I hope you all have a nice day. Thank you for watching.